Have you ever bravely stepped out of the suffocating grip of a narcissist, determined to sever every tie, only to pause and wonder, behind that cold exterior, what turbulent undercurrents are raging in their mind? Are they quietly gnawing on the pain of loss, tormented by the thought of losing a prey they had grown so accustomed to? Or, in the shadows, are they scheming intricate plans, laying sweet traps to lure you back into the vortex of manipulation? Leaving a narcissist is never an easy journey. Beyond the scars that need healing, you must also confront the demons screaming within their minds. Let this video be your compass, shedding light on the darkest corners of a narcissist's soul as you decide to disappear from their life. Together we will peel back the layers of deceitful masks, exposing their hidden hopes, dark calculations, and the psychological games they use to cling to, manipulate, or even punish you. You will be armed with the knowledge to understand the true motives behind their every action, empowering you to strengthen your resolve and confidently pursue your path toward genuine freedom and happiness. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to ensure you don't miss out on valuable insights and deep reflections that will help you understand yourself, cultivate inner strength, and walk steadfastly toward the future ahead. Let's embark on this journey of discovery now. They watch in silent panic. When you decide to step out of the manipulative game orchestrated by a narcissist, their initial reaction is often stubbornness to the point of obstinacy. They believe they hold complete control, convinced that your departure is merely a temporary tantrum and that you will inevitably return, head bowed in submission. In their eyes, clouded by excessive self-importance, you are merely a weak and vulnerable being, susceptible to your own emotions and compassion. Epictetus once said, "No one can harm you unless you allow them to." Unfortunately, narcissists fail to see this truth about you. They regard empathy and love as fatal weaknesses, qualities that will inevitably lead you to kneel before them. They wait casually, unconcerned or unbothered. In the narrow world veiled by their inflated ego, your departure is nothing more than a meaningless struggle. They are convinced that you will soon return, bowing to the rules of their game. As Marcus Aurelius reflected on arrogance, when ego eclipses reason, one sees only their own reflection, oblivious to reality. In their distorted worldview, they may even silently prepare to punish you for this act of betrayal, believing you must pay for your defiance. But then one day, when they've waited endlessly, yet you don't return, they are jolted by the realization that things are not so simple. Imagine suddenly losing access to your phone, unable to communicate, command, or receive information. How inconvenient, anxious, and frustrated would you feel? This is the state of the narcissist at this moment. While you were by their side, they saw you as a possession, always within reach, always available to serve. But when you leave, they panic, realizing your importance, much like discovering they cannot breathe without oxygen. Seneca once reminded us, if something's absence causes your collapse, it's because you allowed it to control your life. The narcissist doesn't grasp this philosophy. They only know that when their toy disappears, their world begins to crumble, exposing their deepest fears and insecurities. When they lose the supply they once deemed eternal, they enter a state of panic, akin to a child stripped of their favorite toy. Their initial arrogance morphs into a storm of frenzied rage. They fear that without your presence, they will drown in emptiness and despair. To combat this fear, they launch a barrage of new tactics, perhaps threats, tearful heartfelt letters, or any form of manipulation to pull you back. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Always discern what is within your control and what you should let go." Their uncontrolled behavior does not define your worth. You are not obligated to rescue their inherent insecurity, nor are you responsible for their inability to find internal peace. To them, your departure is an act of betrayal, a theft of something they believed belonged to them. They need you to revolve around them, to dedicate your time and energy to nurturing their insatiable ego. Your decision to break free from this golden cage enrages and terrifies them. Epictetus aptly said, "When external things, once lost, cause fear, it means you've placed them above yourself." Narcissists fail to see that they have surrendered their value to the submission of others. You exit the game by refusing to comply, refusing to play the role of the devoted servant in their selfish drama. Your absence strikes a blow to their imagined sense of power. They may rage and fear, but that is no longer your concern. Your responsibility, guided by Stoic principles, is to remain calm and not let yourself be pulled back into their vortex. Remind yourself, only your mind determines your reaction. Others may try their tricks, but the response is yours to choose. Instead of feeling guilt or fear, choose serenity and seek inner freedom. Finally, trust that your departure compels the narcissist to confront the insecurities they've long tried to conceal. You are not the cause of their suffering. You are merely someone who chose not to partake in their toxic game. And as Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Others may attempt to dominate you, but they cannot succeed unless you allow them." By believing in yourself, focusing on your core values, and distancing yourself from manipulation, you will find true freedom. The narcissist may rage, despair, and deploy tactics to reclaim their power, but that is no longer your burden. You've chosen the path of freedom, and on this path, their confusion and threats are but distant, meaningless echoes. They watch you. When you walk away, the narcissist never truly leaves your life. Their obsession with you doesn't disappear, even if they try to appear indifferent or unaffected. They silently observe, like ghosts lurking in the shadows, patiently waiting backstage to witness your every move. They do not genuinely desire direct interaction or feel inclined to take responsibility. Seneca once said, "No one learns anything unless they confront the truth." Yet the narcissist chooses to avoid this confrontation by observing from afar, shielding themselves from facing their true emotions or taking accountability for their actions. The connection they maintain with you, therefore, exists in a safer, more detached space, one that satisfies their curiosity and need for control without forcing them to confront the reality of what they've done. This distance becomes a kind of spice for them, as their lack of empathy prevents them from genuinely connecting with anyone. They neither can, nor do they want to, build a true bond. Instead of engaging in meaningful dialogue, they craft a script for themselves, staying on the sidelines and silently observing you, like an unseen audience watching your every emotional nuance. Every mistake or moment of pain you experience brings them satisfaction, as it serves as proof in their mind that you were wrong to leave them. When you endure failure or suffering, they see it as evidence of their own rightness. They convince themselves that you are simply ungrateful for the gifts they provided and that you are now paying the price for your betrayal. As Epictetus warned, "Do not mistake what others perceive as the truth. The truth lies in how you understand yourself." Their satisfaction at your suffering does not mean you were wrong. It only highlights the distortions in their thinking. In reality, they have not truly let go. Even if they have moved on to a new person, they will often try to mold that individual into a replica of you, an imperfect substitute to fill the void and soothe their fragile ego. But as Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, what does not belong to you, do not force into your grasp. They cling to the illusion that the new person will fill the gap, but in truth, they are simply avoiding their own deep-seated insecurities, unable to face them directly. They may resort to indirect attacks or attempt to demean you in the eyes of others. These behaviors are not a reflection of affection or love, but are instead driven by their need to maintain a sense of control. To them, you are nothing more than an abandoned asset, one that still needs to be monitored and kept under their watchful eye, so they can avoid feeling as though they've lost when they see you happier without them. They seduce you back. Even if you are determined to cut ties with a narcissist, remember that these adversaries are masters of manipulation. They always have a repertoire of sophisticated tactics ready to lure their prey back at any moment. As Epictetus once taught, in dealing with others, What you cannot control is their actions, but you always have control over how you respond. Many people share that just when they feel they've escaped the toxic quagmire and their emotional wounds begin to heal, the ghosts of the past unexpectedly resurface. A casual email, a phone call from an unknown number, or even a heartfelt, final apology from the ex. Even those who believed they had grown strong enough to no longer be hurt often find themselves falling back into the old trap, opening their hearts to meet again, only to be met with compounded pain. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What happens to you does not define you. How you respond to it defines who you are." The narcissist will use every trick in the book to pull you back into their toxic cycle, a cycle of sweet words and familiar schemes. Love bombing is just one of their strategies, orchestrated like an elaborate play with 4 well-known acts: idealization, devaluation, discard, and hoovering. In this final act, they rewind time, rekindling the fiery passion of the early days, like a slow-motion film steeped in romance. You may find yourself drawn in by loving words and dreamlike gestures, swept up once again in the illusion of true love and their miraculous transformation. We've shared so many beautiful memories. How could you throw it all away? Such whispers can stir up a flood of longing and nostalgia. But beware, for, as Seneca said, what enchants the ear may blind the eye, but the truth never denies its nature. Beneath that sweet exterior lies a cold, calculating heart. Their ultimate goal is not to build a sincere, loving relationship, but to pull you back into the cycle of idealization, devaluation, discard, and continue manipulating your emotions. Stay vigilant and clear-sighted. Don't let the narcissist's illusions cloud your judgment. Stoic philosophy teaches us that narcissists do not act out of genuine love, but out of selfish calculation. Sweet words, tender gestures, and regretful tears are all a dazzling facade, a cunning strategy to regain control over your life. Their charm is like a fleeting mirage, a beautiful but short-lived bloom, like a morning glory that withers by nightfall. No matter how sweet their promises, no matter how romantic their gestures, it all amounts to nothing, lacking the sincerity and depth essential for a real connection. The carefully constructed mask they wear will soon fall, revealing their true nature. A manipulative, controlling, selfish individual. To protect yourself, you must build strong walls, establish clear boundaries, and always remember this harsh truth. Narcissists are masters at exploiting vulnerability, sowing doubt, and creating insecurity to manipulate their prey. Hold on to your reason, focus on your own happiness, and have the courage to say no to their sweet temptations. Remember, their seductive strategies are not born out of love, but out of a hunger for power. Your autonomy is their greatest threat, and seduction is their most potent weapon to strip you of it. So, safeguard the peace in your soul, trust your intuition, and never forget that their so-called change is nothing more than an illusion. The power to resist a narcissist lies within you, in your ability to stay true to your values, to choose inner freedom over hollow promises. Be brave, take that step forward, and never look back. They play the victim to exploit your empathy. When the drizzle of love is not enough to sway your heart, the narcissist will quickly find ways to transform themselves into the victim to gain your sympathy. They don't just wear a mask of pity, but cleverly fabricate stories full of injustice and wounds that seem everlasting and unhealed. In their eyes, you become the one who has caused harm, the one who constantly oppresses and abuses without mercy. However, the truth is that they are the ones who have sown pain, and their exceptional performance only helps them conceal their true nature for longer. For those who have given their heart fully to such a relationship, you will soon find yourself lost in an emotional maze, a place filled with both love and doubt. They make endless promises, painting a picture of their perfected version of themselves with vows that they will never hurt you again. Every apology is so sweet and heartfelt that it makes you waver, ready to forgive, even as your reason warns you that this is just the same old cycle of hurt, apology, hurt. When you hear lines like, "I'm sorry you feel that way," you might think they're understanding you, but in reality, this is just a tactic to avoid taking responsibility and to pull you into another act of their play, where they continue to pull the strings. To protect yourself, train yourself to recognize these subtle manipulative behaviors. Do not let their tears, trembling voice, or pitiful demeanor make you forget your own inherent value. Instead of draining yourself trying to fix someone who has no genuine desire to change, focus on what you can control, your own thoughts, feelings, and decisions. Sometimes, letting go is not giving up, but the only way to escape the cycle of exhaustion, safeguard your mental health, and restore your belief in life. If needed, create safe boundaries by cutting back or completely limiting communication with those who consistently bring negative energy into your life. Remind yourself of your dignity and practice patience to avoid falling into the traps of sweet apologies or hollow promises again. Everyone deserves to be valued and to live in peace, so don't hesitate to seek help from family, friends, or a therapist if you feel overwhelmed. An outside perspective or objective advice can help wake you from the illusion when facing a narcissist, a masterful actor playing the victim to entangle and control your mind. Have you ever fallen into this tempting victim trap before? If so, share your story with us, and don't forget that you are the one steering your life. Peace and dignity are always worth protecting, even if it means letting go of a seemingly close relationship that is filled with pain. On the journey toward happiness, choosing to let go is sometimes the bravest thing you can do. They use what you desire most to manipulate you. If they hold in their hands anything you deeply yearn for, be it a luxury car, an enticing career opportunity, or genuine love and care, they will find every way to turn it into a bait to manipulate you. For instance, they might initially promise to gift you something expensive or provide financial support for your startup, filling you with hope and gratitude. However, when you start recognizing their toxic behavior and attempt to withdraw, they will suddenly switch gears, refusing all responsibility or promises, and even accusing you of ruining the relationship. You begin to believe that you are the cause of the discord and the one who must bear all consequences if you leave. Even more frightening, many narcissists deliberately create financial pressure by co-signing loans with you, dragging you into debt spirals, or exploiting your credit card or name to borrow money everywhere. They might use tactics like, "Since we're family, you should take this loan in your name," or "I've taken care of everything for you, so helping me a little isn't too much to ask." But when conflicts arise, you are the one left shouldering the financial burden. Every step forward carries risks. If you try to escape the relationship, you risk losing a large sum of money or even facing legal troubles. In this way, you find yourself locked in a cage of dependence, both material and emotional, without an apparent way out. Faced with such a grim reality, Stoic philosophy reminds us of the importance of inner control and the ability to clearly distinguish what is within our grasp. You cannot force the manipulator to stop, but you can adjust how you respond. Instead of wallowing in guilt or self-blame, hold firm to the core values you possess: self-respect, integrity, and resilience. Establish safe boundaries by limiting contact, observing objectively, and listening to your reason rather than fleeting emotions. Letting go is not always a defeat. It can be a courageous choice to end the cycle of harm. A Stoic practitioner understands that their happiness does not depend on flowery promises or privileges bestowed by others. Happiness comes from how we choose to think, act, and confront adversity. If you realize that you cannot overcome the situation alone, don't hesitate to seek support from family, friends, or mental health professionals. This support not only provides motivation, but also helps you see a new path forward, allowing you to leave the toxic relationship with minimal damage. Remember, you are fully deserving of a life of peace and freedom, unbound by the malicious schemes of someone who sees you only as prey for their personal ambitions. They seek to provoke you by flaunting their new supply. When you decide to walk away from a relationship with someone who harbors an inflated sense of self-importance, you may witness their anger and chaos laid bare. A wounded narcissist is like a wild animal in pain, raging furiously and doing everything in their power to pull you back into their familiar den, where they feel safe and secure in their dominance. However, don't let their aggression shake you. It is merely a facade concealing their deep insecurities. In truth, while they are desperately trying to reel you back in, they are simultaneously searching for a new supply to fill the emotional void you've left behind. The harsh reality is that people like this cannot survive without adoration. It's not because they genuinely loved you, but because their enormous ego craves constant nourishment from the emotional energy of others. They need submission and control to maintain their sense of power. The moment they sense the presence of a new person, they will swiftly channel their efforts into constructing a flawless image of their new relationship, often flaunted on social media. Glossy photos, romantic getaways, radiant smiles that seem picture perfect, all these are meticulously staged with one goal in mind: to deeply unsettle you, making you question, doubt, and even agonize over whether you were truly inadequate. Worse yet, they may recreate experiences you once longed for, adventures you never got to have, promises they once made to you but never fulfilled. They turn memories that once felt unique into tools to flaunt in front of their new replacement. This isn't just about hurting you, it's also about bolstering their own sense of power, proving to themselves that they can still control your emotions from afar. But stay vigilant. What you see is merely a polished exterior, not the true essence. Narcissists do not change, nor are they truly seeking authentic love. What they want is to continue extracting emotional energy from others, asserting control and feeding their selfish desires. Do not let yourself get trapped in this toxic cycle. In the spirit of Stoic philosophy, remember that while you cannot control the actions or thoughts of others, you can always control how you respond. Don't let insecurities or jealousy cloud your mind. Focus on building inner strength, honoring your true worth, and letting go of the illusions that do not belong to you. You deserve a genuine love, where you are respected, cherished, and free to be yourself. Never become a puppet in someone else's hands, manipulated at their whim. Hold your head high, move forward confidently, and believe that lasting happiness is reserved for those who protect themselves from toxic narratives. The world is full of beautiful things waiting to be discovered, and you are fully deserving of all the best it has to offer. They smear you, and then, when their superficial tactics fail to unsettle you, a smear campaign is launched at breakneck speed by the narcissist, like a fierce storm sweeping everything in its path. In psychology, this campaign is referred to as the flying monkey strategy. A peculiar and intriguing term, yet behind its whimsical name lies a painful and toxic reality. What are flying monkeys? The term originates from L. Frank Baum's classic book The Wizard of Oz and gained fame through the movie adaptation. In the story, the flying monkeys are the loyal minions of the Wicked Witch, carrying out her orders without question or hesitation. It's chilling how a fictional image from a fairy tale can resonate so strongly in real life. Flying monkeys have come to symbolize individuals manipulated by a narcissist, turned into tools to attack the victim. In reality, flying monkeys can be anyone within your social circle, family members, friends, or colleagues. These people are often ensnared by the narcissist through a variety of tactics, enticing promises, distorted truths, or subtle threats. The narcissist turns them into obedient puppets, blindly carrying out their schemes without regard for the truth or consequences. A narcissist, with their frighteningly inflated ego, is obsessed with being praised, revered, and in control. They lack empathy, incapable of understanding or feeling the pain or harm they inflict on others. When they fail to garner admiration from you, they resort to a more ruthless strategy, destroying you. In their rage, the narcissist doesn't stop at fabricating stories but distorts reality, rewriting the entire history between you. They cast themselves as the pitiable victim who has endured your alleged abuse and mistreatment. They spread lies to anyone willing to listen: friends, your family, colleagues, even strangers. Personal conflicts, once private, suddenly become weapons used to smear your reputation and erode the trust you've worked so hard to build. The most frightening part is the narcissist's masterful manipulation and pitiable facade, which easily gain the trust of others. The flying monkeys, whether your friends or loved ones, are unconsciously led astray, believing they are defending a vulnerable person. They turn their backs on you, doubting and criticizing you, unaware that they are mere pawns in the narcissist's power game. Narcissists spare no effort in smearing, isolating and destroying you. These tactics aim not only to tarnish your reputation, but to push you into profound emotional pain. They want you to feel alone, abandoned, and desperate enough to beg for their forgiveness and restore the power they crave. But don't fall into their trap. Do not let these lies or cruel schemes take control of your life. Remember, the truth cannot be distorted forever. Stand firm, protect your peace, and hold on to the values you believe in. Let calmness and clarity guide you. Those who truly love you will eventually recognize the truth. You don't have to fight the narcissist on their terms. Instead, focus on caring for yourself, building a resilient inner world, and fostering genuine relationships where you are respected and cherished. Trust that no matter how unfair and cruel this battle feels, you can overcome it. And when you stand strong, the narcissist will see that the power they so desperately seek holds no sway over an unyielding spirit. They sow seeds of doubt in your mind. When all their sophisticated tricks fail, when the false mask is torn away and their shameless true nature is exposed, the narcissist will not give up so easily. In their arsenal, they always keep a final ace up their sleeve, their most destructive weapon, sowing seeds of regret and shame in your mind. But what's even more terrifying is that they do not stop at just planting the seeds. With the finesse of a skilled gardener, they will cultivate and water these negative emotions so that they sprout, take root, and grow strong within you until you are entirely trapped in your own pain. Social media, mutual friendships, and sometimes even family become their effective tools in this plan. They might post cryptic status updates such as, "The deepest pain is putting all your trust in someone, only to be betrayed in return." These carefully chosen words, seemingly innocent personal reflections, are in fact sharp daggers aimed at your psyche. Not stopping there, they spread distorted stories, whispering malicious gossip into the ears of those you once trusted. Their sole goal is to create a circle of pressure, making you feel isolated, lost, and eventually pushed to the brink, forcing you to return to them to make things right. But stay alert. Don't let this psychological game unsettle you. According to Stoicism, the first thing to remember is this: what others say or do lies outside your control, and thus you should not let such calculated words determine your own self-worth. Stoics understand that negative emotions only persist if we allow them to. The seeds that narcissists try to sow will only grow if you nurture them with self-doubt and self-blame. Narcissists won't stop at spreading rumors. In the distorted reality they construct, you will become the betrayer, the cold-hearted one, the ruthless person. They will pin all the responsibility and blame on you, crafting a narrative where they are the pitiful victim and you are the one who caused all their suffering. But face the truth, all of it is just a performance, and the narcissist is the lead actor. They fantasize about you kneeling, begging for forgiveness, not because they love you, but because it reinforces their power. Here is a valuable lesson from Stoic philosophy. Do not let your soul be manipulated by external factors. True happiness comes from self-control and a clear understanding of oneself. If you truly grasp your self-worth, no lies or attacks can shake you. Keep in mind, returning to the narcissist doesn't mean reconciliation. It isn't the fresh start they seem to desire. To them, it is a victory, a symbol of their manipulation and control. The moment you take even one small step back, they will feel they have restored their position. But do you really want to live a life dictated by manipulation? A life where every action is governed by someone else's selfishness and inflated ego? Stoic philosophy teaches that instead of being drawn into the cycle of control and manipulation, focus on what is within your control, yourself. You can choose not to react to provocations, not to torment yourself over what has passed. You can choose to walk away from those who hurt you, to find peace within, and to move toward a life free from toxicity. Instead of returning, use your energy to build a life worthy of you. Move forward with the belief that you don't need anyone's validation to prove your worth. You deserve genuine relationships where you are truly loved and respected. Above all, you deserve the peace that no narcissist can ever provide. Live like a Stoic, calm, strong, and steadfast in your own values. Let their schemes crumble in the face of your composure and resilience. And remember this: a life lived with clarity, dignity, and inner peace is the ultimate victory over those who sought to control and diminish you. They continue the cycle of manipulation with new victims. When the curtain falls and the play seems to have ended, you breathe a sigh of relief, believing it is finally over. But in truth, on another stage, far from your view, the narcissist is preparing for a new performance. They brush off the old makeup of their previous roles, don a new dazzling outfit, and step into the spotlight with a familiar script. A successful yet lonely soul, a sincere person yearning for true love. They are like chameleons, effortlessly adapting to their new surroundings without hesitation. With a polished exterior and honeyed words, they captivate unsuspecting prey who have yet to see the toxicity hidden beneath the charming facade. Narcissists are masters of deception, skilled at exploiting emotional vulnerabilities, making their targets feel desired, loved, and special, even though, in reality, they are merely pawns in a calculated game. Once they have ensnared a new target, they quickly recycle their tried and true tactics. Sweet talk that feels like honey to the ears, gestures of care that seem extraordinarily thoughtful, and promises of a perfect future that will never materialize. Narcissists do not seek love, they seek control. They are not interested in balanced relationships, but in a stage where they are the center and their partner is a puppet, easily manipulated at their whim. This cycle continues, like a never-ending tragedy. When one victim leaves, the narcissist swiftly replaces them with another. The previous scenes are discarded, making way for the next act. They proceed to manipulate their new puppets with the same familiar script because their purpose remains unchanged: to drain emotional energy, inflate their colossal ego, and feed their pathological sense of self-importance. But behind their perfect facade lies a sad truth. Narcissists are forever trapped in the web of lies and manipulation they have woven. They are incapable of genuine love, unable to build relationships based on trust and mutual respect. All they do is project the emptiness within themselves onto others, a way to escape their deepest fears: fear of abandonment, fear of insignificance, and fear of confronting their true selves. Narcissists cannot change their nature, and you neither have the responsibility nor the ability to change them. What you can do is recognize their toxicity and choose to protect yourself from the harm they inflict. Do not let yourself get drawn into the endless loop of these psychological games. Be strong and step away from the stage they have constructed. Do not allow yourself to become an actor in their toxic play, where you will never be the protagonist, but only a tool to feed their ego. Focus on building inner resilience, cherishing your true worth, and seeking relationships founded on sincerity and respect. True love is not a power game. It is about sharing and empathy. And if you have ever been a victim of a narcissist, understand that walking away from their life is not a loss, but a liberation. A chance to rediscover yourself and live a life free from the clutches of manipulation and deceit. They will seek to pull you back into their manipulative web the moment they have the chance. Don't be too quick to celebrate when you think you've escaped the toxic vortex of a narcissist. The battle isn't necessarily over, as their nature never allows them to let go easily. With an intense desire for control and a disturbingly stubborn psyche, narcissists will never stop trying to creep back into your life, no matter how much time has passed. 5 years, 10 years, or even a lifetime. They will silently watch you like a persistent ghost hidden in the shadows, waiting for the opportunity to return. They will quietly observe and track your every move from afar, whether through social media, mutual acquaintances, or other means. Every moment in your life can become data for their analysis. When you're happy, when you're vulnerable, and especially when you're experiencing hardship or loss. They are as patient as hunters, waiting for their prey to reach a state of vulnerability before appearing as the savior. With sweet words, enticing promises, and an outward facade of change, they will try to re-enter your life, sowing false hope that they have become different. But don't be deceived. Beneath the mask of care and gestures that seem to stem from love is the same person, selfish, manipulative, and self-serving. They do not return out of concern or a desire to mend past mistakes. Instead, their true goal is to regain control. Their comeback is nothing more than a way to prove that they still hold sway, that you remain ensnared in their toxic cycle despite your efforts to break free. Stay vigilant. Their return is not an opportunity to rebuild, but a wake-up call, reminding you of the past wounds, the sleepless nights, the bitter tears, and the losses you endured. Don't forget why you left them in the first place. Don't allow them the chance to hurt you again. How to protect yourself. Establish clear boundaries not only in your relationship with them, but also in your personal life. Do not let any of their words or actions cross the limits you've set. Firmly say no to their requests, promises, or attempts to reconnect. Cut off contact entirely if possible. Avoid face-to-face meetings, don't respond to their messages or calls, and limit interactions on social media. This not only helps you maintain distance, but also reduces the risk of emotional manipulation. Focus on your mental and physical health. Surround yourself with people who genuinely love and respect you. Engage in activities that bring you joy, growth, and meaning. Trust your instincts if something feels off about their words or actions. Narcissists are masters of hiding their true intentions, but the unease you feel is never accidental. You deserve a life of happiness, freedom, and independence from manipulation by anyone. Don't let deceit, falsehoods, and past wounds drag you back to the place you fought so hard to escape. Stoic philosophy teaches us that what is beyond our control, including the actions of others, is not worth our worry. Instead, focus on the one thing you can control, your reaction. When the narcissist returns with their old tricks, view them with calm, non-judgmental eyes, recognizing that their behavior holds no power over you unless you allow it. Your life is not a stage for others to perform their dramas. Step out of the spotlight they try to shine on you and build your own stage, one where you are the center, where you control the script, and where there is no room for manipulation or deceit. Remember, the past does not define you. Every step you take forward is a declaration that you are stronger than the pain you've endured. Be proud of your journey and keep moving forward with the belief that you deserve true happiness, a happiness unbound by anyone.